So just a little story about why I'm here at Smith Infiniti and my progression here. A long time ago, I worked for a local Chevrolet dealer that had a very bad reputation. They're no longer in business, but they had a really, really bad reputation. And I could see why. What they were doing was that they were putting people in brand new cars before they were even sure that they would get approved. And that can happen from time to time where we think we have approval and then it turns around. But this dealership would literally throw these people in the car and sometimes even lie to the loan company about what might be on the car so it would assess at a higher value so they could get more for it. And I didn't know this was happening because I was fairly new. I was brand new in the business, but then it came out that it was happening. And not only did GMAC stop actually allowing them to finance their vehicles, but the dealership eventually closed down. And I think something not great happened to the owner of all the dealerships that he owned that had this kind of philosophy. Flash forward, I started working at a place and I sold Toyotas. I think Toyotas are great cars, but it was a high volume dealership. And I'll be honest, I just didn't like a lot of the tactics, very hard sales tactics. The salespeople, you went from zero to hero and then back to zero again every single day. Everything that went wrong in the dealership was all the salesperson's problem, and that all got transferred to the client. And I had many clients that were not happy with their experience, not necessarily with me, but more so with the real push through finance and things of that nature. They felt like they really overpaid. I even had some clients come back and find out later on that things had been put onto their loans that they had never agreed to. And that was just my experience. I also was not really comfortable with the used cars that I would sometimes end up selling to clients because I knew that not much of a process was done before the cars went out onto the lot, and very few, if any, cars were ever rejected. Usually what would happen is that this particular dealership, if they knew they couldn't get top dollar for it, they would eventually run like these little sort of ads where they would have people come in and be able to buy one car for $100 and have a bunch of other pieces of not really great working vehicles out there as well. So generally people that couldn't afford to have a car that would have problems would end up buying cars that had problems. But it would be all under the auspices of it was just a sort of like clearance sale that was being done. That was just not something I could handle, something I could really deal with. And I did have some clients that had some very bad experiences with some pre-owned vehicles that I was a part of the deal. And I couldn't handle that either because I believe that this business is really a part of me and that my name is attached to this. So I stepped out of the car business for a few years and I finished my master's. And then I decided to come back in the car business when I found out I was being a grandfather because I wanted to make some money again. But I was really cautious about where I came. So one of my dearest friends is the manager here, and I grilled him for about 3 or 4 months. And I wanted to understand the philosophy behind the dealership, the philosophy behind the family that owns it, and their philosophy on both the clients and on the used cars. And from what I saw and what I heard in that grilling I did for about 2 or 3 months, I was very happy with it. And I can tell you now that I am very happy that I'm here because I can see that absolutely everything that's possible is done to make sure that the client not only has a great experience, but also that the pre-owned vehicles that make it out into the lot are as in good a shape as is possible. Not all the cars make it out here. There are a lot of cars that don't even make it out onto the lot here that might just get auctioned off or something of that nature. But the ones that do make out, there's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 bills or more that are done in service to do things like changing out shocks and struts, changing out the brakes, to do all kinds of different things to make sure that the car is as in tip-top condition as is possible. And that makes me feel very confident to not only to represent this store and this brand, but also to be able to put these cars in front of a client and tell them to the very best of our knowledge, this is in as great of shape as you're going to get if you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle. Not all pre-owned vehicles are alike. Even if you get 2 vehicles that have the same mileage, the same year, same color, same body and all that kind of stuff, those 2 pre-owned vehicles may not necessarily be the same because of not only what's happened to it before with the previous owner or owners, but also what has happened in its preparation for sale. And I can tell you to the very best of the ability from what I've seen here, and I truly believe it's true, this family's philosophy is on taking care of the client, which I think number one reflects in their very low doc fee, because this is the lowest doc fee I've seen, but also in just the care that is given, not only to the client, but also to the cars that are actually presented for sale. So if you're interested in something, whether it be an Infiniti or maybe even another luxury brand, we do carry a lot of things. Look on our website, contact me, Pete Sells Cars, 256-224-2725. Let me know what you're looking for. Love, peace, and release.